guys, Kat Lively here, creator and host of Calling Old Hollywood, and today I am taking you to Dunbar Village. Dunbar Village was formerly the Dunbar Hotel. In the 1930s and 40s, it was the quintessential hotel where Billie Holiday, Coltrane, Miles Davis, Louis Armstrong, it was the pinnacle of the jazz musician. This was like the pinnacle of West Coast jazz. This is where they stayed, and they often performed in the hotel as well. So I thought, wow, it'd be really interesting to go see that. I watched the new Billie Holiday film last night and was naturally very inspired. I've been a very big fan of Billie Holiday for years. So I thought, let's go explore some of her Los Angeles haunts. And Dunbar Village came up first. It's no longer a hotel, it's an apartment building for low-income housing near downtown LA. But it's still in a moderately clean, safe neighborhood. So if you come to Los Angeles, you're big jazz, Billie Holiday fans, I do recommend, stop by and see where she stayed and played. Do 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 do. The Dunbar Hotel, originally known as the Hotel Somerville, was the focal point of the Central Avenue African American community in Los Angeles during the 1930s and 40s. Built in 1928, it was known for its first year as the Hotel Somerville. Upon its opening, it hosted the first national convention of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or NAACP, to be held in the western United States. In 1930, the hotel was renamed the Dunbar, and it became the most prestigious hotel in LA's African American community. In the early 1930s, a nightclub opened at the Dunbar, and it became the center of the Central Avenue jazz scene in the 1930s and 40s. The Dunbar hosted Duke Ellington, Cab Calloway, Billie Holiday, Louis Armstrong, Lionel Hampton, Count Basie, Lena Horne, and many other jazz legends. Other noteworthy people who stayed at the Dunbar include W.E.B. Du Bois, Joe Louis, Ray Charles, and Thurgood Marshall. Former heavyweight champion Jack Johnson also ran a nightclub at the Dunbar in the 1930s. No longer a hotel, the building was renovated in the 2010s and is now part of a larger residential community named Dunbar Village. The Los Angeles Herald-Examiner described the Dunbar this way: "It was once the most glorious place on the avenue, at the Dunbar Hotel. You could dance to the sounds of Cab Calloway, laugh till your stomach hurt with Red Fox, and maybe, just maybe, get a room near Billie Holiday or Duke Ellington." The Dunbar was the gathering spot for the creme de la creme of Black society, the hotel for performers who would entertain in white hotels but not sleep in them. In 1940, radio comedian Eddie Rochester Anderson used the Dunbar as his headquarters while campaigning for the honorary seat of mayor of Central Avenue. The Dunbar also became the place where African American political and intellectual leaders and writers, including Langston Hughes, W.E.B. Du Bois, Ralph Bunche, Thurgood Marshall, and James Weldon Johnson gathered. It is best described as a place where the future of Black America was discussed every night of the week in the lobby. More than anything, the Dunbar is remembered for its role in the Central Avenue jazz scene. The nightclub at the Dunbar was the home away from home for, and the stage for, performances from Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, Louis Jordan, Count Basie, all of those people, Nat King Cole. Ray Charles actually lived here for a short time when he first moved to Los Angeles. The neighborhood also was the home of the other famous jazz clubs, including Club Alabama next door, The Last Word across the street, and the Downbeat, which was nearby. Even local musicians who were playing at the other Central Avenue clubs would gather at the Dunbar. Lee Young, the drummer who led a band at the Club Alabama, recalled, "The fellows in the band, Charles Mingus, Art Pepper, all of us, would hang out between sets next door at the Dunbar. Between the club and the hotel, you'd see movie stars and all the big show business names of the day." Musician Jack Kelson recalled the sidewalk in front of the Dunbar as the most desirable place to hang out on the city's coolest street. He said, "That's my favorite spot on Central Avenue. That spot in the front of the Dunbar Hotel, because that to me was the hippest, most intimate, key spot of all the activity. That's where all the nightclub people hung out, the sportsmen, the businessmen, the dancers, everybody in show business. People who were somebody stayed at that hotel." By that block, the Dunbar Hotel, for me, that was it, and it was done for. It seemed to me, everybody else. Sooner or later, you walked in front of that hotel, and that's where everybody congregated. In his autobiography, Buck Clayton shared some of his memories of the Dunbar. He recalled the Dunbar as jumping with loads of people, trying to get a glimpse of the celebrities, and parties thrown by Duke Ellington and his guys with chicks and champagne everywhere. Clayton recalled an instance when Ellington and his orchestra came to Los Angeles after the 1932 release of the song It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing. Ellington's band was in the Dunbar restaurant when the song came on the jukebox. It was the first time since leaving New York that they had heard this recording. Clayton described the band's response. So much rhythm I've never heard, as guys were beating on the tables, instrument cases, or anything else they could beat on with the knives, forks, rolled up newspapers, or anything else they could find to make rhythm. It was absolutely crazy. The Dunbar was also known for its food. One musician recalled they had good old Southern fried everything. Just as racial segregation had created a need for the Dunbar, racial integration in the 1950s eliminated the need. Duke Ellington, who had previously kept a suite at the Dunbar, began staying at the Chateau Marmont in Hollywood, and others followed. As one writer put it, when the barriers against integration began to crumble in the late 1950s, so did the Dunbar Hotel. Bernard Johnson bought the Dunbar in 1968, but the hotel continued to lose money, and Johnson closed the hotel's doors in 1974. While closed in 74, comedian Rudy Ray Moore used the hotel extensively in his low-budget film Dolomite, and in 1976, the movie A Hero Ain't Nothing But a Sandwich was filmed at the Dunbar. Owner Bernard Johnson also opened a museum of black culture for a time. But for most of the years from 74 to 87, the building was vacant and declined drastically as transients began using it for shelter, and the building suffered from graffiti, broken windows, and litter. In 1974, the Dunbar was designated as a historical cultural landmark by the city's Cultural Heritage Commission. The plaque called the hotel an edifice dedicated to the memory and dignity of Black achievement. It was also added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1976. The Dunbar was also listed in the Green Book, a guide to African American travelers from 1940 to 1956.
Did you guys think we were going to get inside? Because I did not. Exploring Dunbar Village was incredible. I honestly didn't expect that. I thought we were just going to kind of take some shots outside, maybe the neighborhood, but we ended up going inside. How incredible. The first thing that I noticed when I walk in is this gust of history. You know, the place smells old. It's just like it's in the walls. If they could talk, I would listen. I'm very excited. I'm happy that we got to do that. So, you know, Billie Holiday is a big inspiration of mine. She was a very inspirational person. She had a very difficult life, and there's Byron. Hi, buddy. Oh, now he's camera shy. So she was a very inspirational woman and legend, icon. I'm happy that she's still remembered and still respected today, as she should be. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, join the Patreon. Let me know what you think about the videos. And if you have any ideas for videos that you would like to see, locations in Los Angeles, shoot me a message. Thanks, guys.